Greetings, my fellow hunters, and today, after a string of isekai animes, I thought I'd go back to a classic. And instead of today, me going on a hunt, today, I'll be dueling my way. So, let's join on this duel and see how Yugioh holds up. And I have to say, rewatching some of the old episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duel Monster series was quite a nice, refreshing taste after the strings of isekai animes I've been reviewing these last few weeks. And boy, it was a breath of fresh air. So, the story of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that of a bit of a complicated one. So, how about instead of going to the story, I'll do a little history lesson. The original series was not originally a card game. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Series was originally a series of games that Yugi Moto would play in a high risks of, I would say, deadly consequences. But one time there was a series when Takahashi made a parody on Magic the Gathering. That was so popular by fans that letters went to Shonen Jump and demanded that Takahashi expand on this card game, which birthed the modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's not that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the original Yu-Gi-Oh! DM, or Duel Monster series, as that is a whole different series, and I may or may not review the manga. So, that depends. So anyway, the story of Yu-Gi-Oh! Follows the character Yugi Moto as he uncovers the secrets of the Millennium Puzzle, a mysterious magical object that, when happens, he transforms into an ancient pharaoh, and he duels his way through a lot of things. So it's quite an adventure. He goes quite around he goes quite around. It's always an interesting thing seeing him with new situations, even though it's basically card games, but those card games really do have high risks. One time in the episode, let me think. He was actually locked up and some saw blades were about to cut him into pieces if he lost. Being the king of games, he didn't lose. Because, it wouldn't be much of a show if the main protagonist was axed off pretty quickly. So, he rarely loses. You could take that as how it was, either a positive or negative. I take it either way. Because if he lost, there wouldn't be any series, because the bad guy would have had the puzzle. But at the same time, it gets kind of predictable at the sort when sure, it gets tense whenever he's going to get out or not, but behind the niggling head, you're going to get the feeling, he's going to win no matter what. So it does get a little predictable at the times, but overall, I just enjoy it. It's just some simple fun, and it is kind of nostalgic for me. And I know, I was complaining about Cardcaptor Sakura a few weeks ago about how only nostalgia fans would like it, but this is a difference that I like it, and it's not sweet. It actually has darkness to it, which I kind of like. It has tension, which I like. I know, I'm a hunter, but hey, that's just me. But either way, I'd say the story is pretty good. The characters are also very fun. Yugi Moto, Joey Wheeler, Taya Gardner, and Tristan are all friends to Yugi, and they are very interesting. Joey's the street kid who is rough and tumble. Yugi's the timid and small one. Taya is the confidence. And what was his name again? What was that? I know I just said it, but it slipped my mind. What was it called? Tristan. That was it. And Tristan is just the blockhead. He doesn't necessarily do any worth of note in the series. He's just one of the supporting casts. Joey. Oh! I forgot about Seto Kaiba, the main antagonist to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. Not the villain. Okay, he's the villain at the beginning, but he's more like an antagonist / rival to the main protagonist. He has a younger brother named Mokuba, which is kind of admirable. At least it doesn't make him completely an arrogant asshat. But nonetheless, yes. As I was going to say, they're all supporting. Joey and Kaiba and Yugi are the main three duelists in the series, so they are the ones that have the bulk of the duel. Some of the side characters do get a duel, like Tristan and Taya do have a certain duels, but they are small and mostly in the filler arcs. I don't think Taya in the manga actually dueled. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. And as for the animation, well, for a late 90s anime, it's pretty good. It has aged a little bit bad, but compared to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, for example, the animation is more lively, believe it or not. Especially for the monster designs, because they actually have, well, features when they get hit or are destroyed. They actually have features. It tends to seem that it happens less and less, not completely less and less. It only happened last Vrains, despite Vrains being of superior animation quality compared to the original. But hey, I guess it saves on time and budget, even though that was one of the best things, seeing the expression of when the monsters were about to be destroyed or something. But overall, the animation of the series is quite good. I wouldn't say it's complaining or anything. As for the sound, now this is where I really don't do this often, but I would say that I like the original Japanese, but I also like the English version. Now, the English version for the music has this almost Egyptian, unique music to it. It's Egyptian style, but very different from what I'm used to. I like music, but this is very different. So, yeah, the opening for the original English dub has an interesting tune to it, very mystical and Egyptian like. I also like the Japanese because I like the music. It's up my alley. Not because it's J-pop, because I'm a bit of a fan of rock music, and my taste. But still, it's hard to say. But yeah, I always say the music does a good job of building tension. I can't actually remember a few tracks, so it's at least that. But overall, yeah, music is good. This was actually a weird one for me to do because I feel like my biases will show up, and I could have a feeling this show is not going to be for everyone because it's old, and the fact is that it's quite long. But I think if you give it the time and not try to watch all of it at once, you can enjoy it. But if I must give my recommendation, I would advise watching either the redub of the original, so they took the Japanese footage and redubbed everything so it's more aligned and not so censored. Finger points, everyone. But I also recommend the Japanese version for the more authentic version. I know I don't normally bring up the dubs unless it is necessary, but I think this is the case where the original dub has aged poorly, and I would recommend trying to find the redub or watch the Japanese if you want a more authentic experience. Well, my fellow hunters, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and please like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, and my Discord is down below. I always appreciate it. It helps my channel grow. I'm almost up to 40 subscribers as time of recording, so please, thank you very much. And as I always say to my fellow hunters, may the good blood guide your way.